for deposition in case number C216498, State of Nevada versus Jason Mathis and Andrew Dow. Mr. Mathis and Mr. Dow are present with their counsel, Mr. Sagis and Mr. Farron. Mr. Mark DiGiacomo represents the state. What's the name of the witness?
Antione Mouton, Judge.
Antione Mouton. And Mr. Mouton has his lawyers here. Can we get them for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Stephen Kaler, Federal Public Defender from San Francisco.
Okay.
Harry Davalos also.
Okay,
counsel, I'm going to need your spelling on your name.
And you're?
Kalar.
Davalos.
Gary Montclair, Stalling and Sagis.
Okay, sure. All right.
Mr. Davalos, your first name, please.
Cary.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because this file just got transferred to me, but apparently there is a negotiation on behalf of this fellow that requires him to cooperate and give testimony, and in order to move his process along, this deposition is scheduled. However, at this juncture, there is no reason to believe that he is not going to be available at the trial, so this deposition notwithstanding, it would be expected that the state would subpoena him for trial, including whatever orders they need to bring him if he's in custody, and that he could give live testimony, and both sides would have this deposition, which could be used for impeachment purposes, unless he becomes unavailable. I mean, he could have a heart attack tomorrow and drop dead. I think it's highly unlikely as a young man. But if he did become unavailable, then this is testimony under cross-examination, under oath, and hence it would be usable. So it would seem to me that both sides should approach it as though it would be used at trial, with the understanding that absent something untoward, it is not going to be used at trial except for impeachment purposes. Is that where we're at?
99%, Judge. Just the fact is that he entered a plea. The plea had nothing to do with this particular case. It has the standard language saying if he provides assistance in the U.S. Attorney's sole discretion, they can make a motion before a judge for sentencing, but the plea has nothing to do with our case, and he's not required to do anything under our case.
That's his lawyer. That's his deal. All we're trying to do is get that done. Mr. Farron?
And just finally, I think the court stated it well, but I do want to lodge my formal objection. I don't think he's unavailable. I don't think they've made the showing, so I would object to this.
This deposition is not being taken in anticipation of unavailability. It is being taken so that a totally unrelated proceeding may be able to go forth. But the consequence is going to be, if he becomes unavailable, this is going to be usable, and even if he's not unavailable, it's under oath testimony subject to cross-examination, so whatever he says could be used for impeachment purposes if he testifies differently live. Okay? Mr. Sagis?
If I may, I had a similar matter in front of Judge Mosley. As a matter of fact, it was identical. And my motion to have a deposition taken was denied under NRS 174.175. I thoroughly briefed it, went over it a number of times, and the judge's interpretation, the actual language of that statute says that the only way that the deposition could occur is if there is a substantial likelihood of unavailability, and not just in anticipation of the possibility of, because that would include every witness.
I don't think, as I said again, this is not done in anticipation of unavailability. It is done for the purpose of allowing another case to go forward in a timely manner, because this one hasn't gone forward in a timely manner, although it's going to. And so that's not why it's done. I'm just saying that,
Your Honor,
I mean, why you do a preliminary hearing isn't necessarily in anticipation of unavailability, but if you do a preliminary hearing and somebody testifies and then an unexpected unavailability occurs, because it was under oath testimony subject to cross-examination, it can then be used if the judge believes that the criteria have been met on motion.
As to Mr. Sagis' issue, Judge, I would note that Mr. Sagis did file that motion. Mr. Schwartz, when he had the case, objected. When I took the case over a little over 30 days ago, I reviewed the motion. I indicated to Mr. Sagis that I agree with him. We should take the deposition of the witness. We've been attempting to contact the witness, and when we set this particular hearing in front of Judge Mosley is at the same time we agreed to take the videotape deposition of Ms. Rowell. And so at whatever point in time that either they find her or our material witness warrant kicks in and she gets arrested, then we'll have this issue before the court on that witness, but it's completely unrelated.
Okay, let's go forward. Sir, stand and raise your right hand.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action should be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated.
State your name, sir, and spell your name for the record.
Antione Mouton, Antione Mouton.
Okay, you're going to have to speak up, Mr. Mouton, because we can barely hear you, and I'm not sure that the equipment is going to pick it up unless you speak louder and more clearly,
And I
please.
need him to spell his last name again.
Mouton, Mouton. Go ahead, Mr. Giacomo.
Thank you. And you could speak right into that microphone, okay? You're currently in custody, correct?
Yes.
And what are you in custody for?
Interstate sex trafficking of a person under the age of 18.
Okay. Interstate sex trafficking of a person under the age of 18?
Yes.
And that's a federal charge?
Yes.
And it's out of San Francisco?
Yes.
What's the status of that case currently? Have you entered a plea?
Yes.
Okay, and you've worked out a negotiation with the U.S. Attorney's Office on that case, correct?
Yes.
As a part of that negotiation, does that have anything to do with your testimony here today?
You repeat that?
Let me rephrase. It's a terrible question. When you entered that plea, was that plea at all have to do with the fact that you were going to testify here in court today?
No.
Okay. After that plea, after entry of that plea, are you expecting, are you hoping for some sort of benefit for your testimony here today?
Yes.
Explain to the court what you're hoping for.
Possible reduction.
Okay. And how is that going to work? Who gets to decide whether or not a reduction occurs?
District attorney.
The district attorney, as in your prosecutor, your federal prosecutor?
Yes.
Okay.
That would actually be the U.S. attorney, and I guess the ultimate decision would be that of the judge as to whether or not you provided substantial assistance in another matter. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some questions about, let's first start off with where'd you grow up? What area of America?
San Francisco, California.
Okay. Did you have a particular neighborhood you lived in?
Bayview District.
Say that again?
Bayview District.
The Bayou District? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. And growing up, did you come to know or come to learn of an individual that you knew as Mac Minister?
Yes.
Where was Mac Minister from?
Fillmore.
And can you tell me the approximate age of, let me rephrase this. When's the first time that you knew who Mac Minister was?
Maybe by the age of maybe 15, 16.
And was he the same age as you or older?
Older.
And how is it that you knew who Mac Minister was?
Through people from the neighborhood.
Okay. Did you ever see him?
Yes.
And how old are you now?
26.
And in the intervening, 10 or 11 years, how often did you see Mac Minister?
Off and on through them.
Off and on through the years?
Yes.
Did you ever talk to him?
Just in the city once or twice.
In the city, when you say the city, you refer to San Francisco as the city?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see Mac Minister here in court?
Yes.
Can you just point him out and describe what he's wearing?
Right there with the blue uniform on.
Okay, which one? The guy with the glasses or the guy without the glasses?
Without.
And the record reflect the identification of Defendant Dow, Judge.
That was Defendant Dow pointed out, correct? Yes.
I want to direct your attention to sometime in the summer of 2006 here in Las Vegas. Did you ever come into contact with Mac Minister here in Las Vegas?
Yes.
And where was this contact with him?
At the first contact was at Boulevard Mall.
The Boulevard Mall?
Yes.
And where generally is the Boulevard Mall located here in Las Vegas?
Somewhere off the strip off Maryland Boulevard.
So it's off strip off Maryland?
Yeah.
Now, what were you doing at the Boulevard at that point in time?
I was shopping to get a cell phone.
And while you were doing that, how is it you came into contact with Mac Minister?
He came up and was talking to a female that I knew, and when she walked away, he was still there, and we talked briefly.
And you talked briefly. This is you talked to Mac Minister. Is this someone you recognized him, obviously, from the city?
Yes.
He recognized you.
Yes.
Was he by himself, or did he have some other people with him?
He had some other people with him.
Okay. Did you know any of the other people with him?
Not really, not on a personal level.
Okay. Do you know the names of any of them?
Looked like it was Corleone with him.
Corleone?
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever seen Corleone before?
Yes.
Where was Corleone a guy from San Francisco too? That general area?
Yes.
Okay. And describe Corleone for me. What did he look like?
He was a bigger, heavier set dude. Don't really look like the guy that I see right now.
Okay. So there was a guy, Corleone, that was kind of heavier set kind of guy.
Yes.
With him at that time.
Yes.
When you talked to McMinister at the Boulevard Mall, what was the conversation about?
The first conversation consisted of I told him that I heard that that the authorities are looking for him and that I don't see why he was walking around the mall. He told me that he don't really give a fuck about the motherfuckers snitching on him and the police that was looking for him at the time, that he wasn't concerned with it.
Okay. Is that the language that he used specifically, or did you guys have a different... Give me the words that he used, you know?
He said, I don't give a fuck about bitch-ass motherfuckers snitching on me or the punk-ass police that's looking for me.
Is that the extent of the conversation you had with him there?
Yes.
I direct your attention to sometime later. Did you have a time to come into contact with McMinister again?
Yes.
And where did this contact occur?
On the walking bridge from Barbary Coast to Caesar Palace.
And when you're on this walking, can you tell me what the weather was like?
It was rather cold.
And you said, where was the bridge from to the Barbary Coast from where?
Caesar Palace.
Which way were you headed?
I was heading from the Barbary Coast towards the Caesar Palace.
And which way was McMinister headed?
From the Caesar Palace towards the Barbary Coast.
And at this point, did you recognize any of the people that was with him, or was he alone?
No, he was with some other people.
Did you recognize any of them?
No.
When you had contact with him this time, describe for us the conversation.
Conversation Dan had, it continued from the conversation from the mall, and I asked him what was he doing out and about right now and everything, and around that time, that's when he told me, he said, same old shit that bitch-ass motherfuckers around here telling on me right now. He said, but I don't give a fuck. He said, I don't give a fuck because that's when that motherfuckers gonna get what they got coming around here. You know, motherfuckers come up missing around this motherfucker just like that bitch and them bitch-ass niggas that did that shit to Dre. Okay.
So he indicates to you that people snitching are going to come up missing like the bitch-ass niggas that did that stuff to Dre.
Yes, and he also said that, you know, around here, cowards die running around this motherfucker.
He indicated to you that cowards die running?
Yes.
I can remember when I was really, really fucked up about them going to go get that nigga like that, me never seeing this motherfucker a day in my life, and he getting up there, and that white boy, that bigot, wrote that shit up to him to practice. That's who did that. So he was trying to get him to sound more black than him just talking. That's why he said, what else was the other language he wanted him to say, them niggas? And you hear me? For that white boy to do that, to have the nerve to act like he know how, he's an evil genius that fell short of the mark, though. He came with the bullshit. He came with the shit. He trying to describe how black folks talk. But to have the audacity to say it, write it, to talk to him about it, tell him what to say, how to say it, because it'd be more convincing if you say it like this. That's how diabolical that bitch is. That's why I call him a diabolical bigot. And then the nerve of him. When he's testifying about motherfucking summer of 06, you seal the record. You seal the record now. I can't even cross him on the shit that he said because the record is sealed. You follow me? That's because they reviewed the transcripts and he understood, oh no, we went too far. You putting Corleone with Mac in summer 06, Mathis is locked down summer 05. It doesn't work. So how the fuck do we get all the way till July 17th to trial? How did we get that far? 2008. This happened August 28, 2007. How 1 year later or 11 months later he get an opportunity to change his entire testimony and you got the record seal? And then not only do you got the motherfucking record seal, but you introduced his public defenders, San Francisco public defenders. Why are they in violation? They know his motherfucking name is Antoine Cantrell. They didn't correct the record. They allowed that to go. Everybody was on board. Nobody checked the motherfucking record. Nobody said, hey, Your Honor, excuse me, wait a minute. Before we go any further in these proceedings, I'm an officer of the court. I'm from the San Francisco Federal Public Defender's Office, and I would like to, correct the record. His name isn't Mouton. His name is Mr. Cantrell. Just for the record, Judge, so that we don't get caught up in him committing perjury. Nobody did that. They allowed this shit to go on and on. And then when you hear what the judge is saying, they are double talking. He made a deal with something that doesn't have nothing to do with this proceedings. Yeah, dude, this is why he's telling. Who the fuck you think you talking to? Who do you think listening? What the fuck you, what? Oh, we're saying it for the nigger. The nigger don't understand, but you guys know that I'm really double talking. This is for, yeah. He when he testified today, if he don't make this happen, his deal doesn't go through. You keep talking about this deal doesn't go through. If his deal don't go through, why are you this is a Napue violation. Well, this is a violation of due process right now, of my due process right then and there. This is a John Giglio violation. It's a Giglio. I'm going to read some of the Giglio to you. And Giglio was a violation where this motherfucker he had a co-defendant in a forgery. And the motherfucking prosecutor, made him it's a deal. I don't got the Henry Napue with me, but if you look up Henry Napue, I just know what it is from just reading it and knowing it from the heart. You know what I mean? The Henry Napue, where motherfucker made a deal and you trying to act like you didn't make a deal, but you promised him. But his public defender promised him that if he, testified that he would do his best to make sure that he got a good deal. Motherfucker. That gives a motherfucker the incentive to lie right there. You trying your best to make this shit happen. So, here goes some of it. It's a constitutional law. Promise of non-prosecution disclosure. In determining whether due process requires a new trial because of an assistant United States attorney promised to a co-conspirator that he would not be prosecuted if he testified as a government witness against his co-conspirator. And the government's failure to disclose this promise, neither the assistant United States attorney's authority nor his failure to inform his superiors of his associates is controlling. Moreover, whether the non-disclosure was a result of negligence or design, it is the prosecutor's responsibility. Now let me go into my diatribe. It's his fiduciary responsibility to turn this shit over. Irrespective of good faith or bad faith, you gotta get that to me. You don't lie or withhold, because when you withholding, you lying. That's and when he say that nobody made him a promise, when he know that they know if he maintain this false testimony and they obtain a conviction, he gonna get a deal, and he got it. He's facing 40 years for pimping and pandering on a minor, taking a minor across state and county lines. Why am I adamant about that? Because all these niggas that's out there in them streets that's pimping and pandering on minors, nigga, they get caught up. Youngsters tell them, nigga, you working right now for the federal government. The game is bad, nigga. I would never participate right form of fashion. This shit is terrible. You got motherfuckers that's out there, you want a bitch to stay honorable and real with you, but nigga, you's a motherfucking informant for the government. You that bitch. You asking the bitch where she going, bitch, you going to Milwaukee, Detroit, New York. Nigga, the motherfucking federal government giving these bitch-ass niggas assignments. Putting bugs on these niggas, having them come up to a motherfucker and talk to them. Do an investigation, got camera and microphone on. Motherfuckers has impunity, integrity of the game. But you want somebody to stay honorable to you. Now, with all that said, to get to the meat and potatoes, you got a motherfucker that made a deal, and he done testified that it's not a deal. That's perjury testimony right there. You're subordinate to perjury. Not only is you withholding the fact that you're making a deal, you suppress that, but when he lied and say that the deal hasn't been made, that's perjury. Then you got him talking about he saw me with the co-defendant summer of '06. You hear that for yourself.
You have 1 minute left.
They knew from the beginning what they was doing. See, the level of impropriety, the debauchery, the judge is complicit to this malicious prosecution. The attorneys that I got, everybody is in fucking cahoots. They hoodwinked America with a fake-ass conviction. It is a fundamental miscarriage of justice. When the prosecutor obtained perjured testimony, knowing it, get a conviction, and then this bitch got the audacity, the gall to sit there and try to argue like, oh, no, we did nothing wrong. The conviction is righteous conviction. Bitch, you wronger than a motherfucking nigga trying to put his right foot in his left shoe. You got no leg to stand on. You foul.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
So here's another egregious violation on these motherfuckers. You got the San Francisco Federal Public Defender. They escort this motherfucker across state and county lines. None of them even said nothing about him having a deal. They know that he got a fucking deal coming if he testified to their likes. They know he got a deal coming when the conviction happened, he gonna turn around and get exactly what he got, probation. They knew this. Everybody will be held accountable, though, for their malfeasance. You can rest assured on that. See, this is the thing about me that they don't like. You know, and I love saying I'm a special ed kid. Yeah, motherfucker, I was that dude on the yellow bus. But was it because I couldn't process information, or did I have a behavior problem? See, there's a difference between a motherfucker having behavior problem, fighting all the time, compared to a motherfucker processing the information. So you underestimate me. Not only did you underestimate me, but when you're a bigot in the manner that the prosecutor Mark DiGiacomo is, the reason why he summoned Latif because for the pale skin that's on him, and that bigot bitch that's in him, he couldn't understand, or he didn't want to accept the fact that Latif is a lawyer, and Latif is smarter than him. But you're a nigger. There's no way that you know any of this. There's no way. So I'm gonna summon him, and I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see what his credentials are. Well, you summoned a nigga that ride a nag. That nigga riding a nag up in there. You got him fucked up. He come up in there, motherfucker, shut everything down. Now you done activated him. I can't even fire the nigga. I'll tell him, hey, look, man, I don't even want to go no further. No. Well, man, I ain't got no money. I don't give a fuck about money. This is where this nigga at. He done lost his mind. Y'all done fuck with him the wrong way. You done fuck with the right nigga at say that because he has the fucking credentials to say that. And then when you look at this, they so desperate to keep me confined that they sound like they don't even know the law. They're doing shit like a layman, like a nigga that don't know no better. You really don't know. You're sitting up here talking about I made a mistake. Bitch, there's penalties for mistakes. Hike, you jumped off sides. Okay, you sorry in Donovan too, but guess what? It's 5-yard penalty. First down. Steph Curry pump fake LeBron James. LeBron reach in, foul. Oh, ref, I'm sorry. Okay, LeBron, we accept your apology. But Steph Curry's finna go shoot these 2 free throws. Nigga, you done fouled out. There's a penalty for those mistakes. You can't say you made a mistake and you started. They're going to tell you ignorance is not a defense. Give a fuck you didn't know. Oh, little nigga, you didn't know that when you went by there and shot up that motherfucking funeral home and hit Big Mama and Pawpaw trying to shoot a motherfucking show out and do all this other shit, and you got 500,000 years coming, and you say, I didn't know they was going to give me that much time. I didn't know. Ignorance is not a defense. See how idiotic they sound when they put shit in the petition and argue the fact that he made a mistake. Bitch, you didn't make a mistake. This shit was by design. And the law said whether it's negligence or design, you will be held accountable. You can't hold me on this. And you know what? Let me tell you something. They gotta let me go. I don't give a fuck how long it takes. Because one thing about it, the motherfucking Mac ain't gonna break. I'm not accepting nothing but, motherfucker, you gonna give me a certificate of exoneration. That's what you're gonna do. And bitch, you're going to apologize for disrespecting my time like you did. And you gonna make up for it. I can assure you of that. There's no way in the world before God I'm gonna let you bitches off the hook for that. And what you motherfuckers don't know out there, nigga, they been trying to let me go 5 years ago. Talking about taking an alpha plea. Bitch, you got me fucked up. When they offered me a 1 to 10, before I went to trial. See, a lot of you suckers don't know that. They came at me talking about a 1 to 10. I told them, bitch, I ain't taking a 1 to 10 seconds. Yeah, we taking it to the box. You give it all to me or you gonna release the chop. And that's what we doing. And I have no regrets about it. Because in the end, look what Allah has done. There's no way around this now, because like I've been saying, bitch, you're playing chess with God. It ain't got nothing to do with me no more. He allowed you to do all of the shit you did. Look how bad you look. And he exposed every motherfucking body. There's a lot of documents y'all don't see. They response to my petition, because this is why I don't respect that judge. You come in the courtroom, all rise. I would never stand up for that bitch again. Bitch, I don't respect you. Sitting down during the proceedings, I wouldn't give a fuck what they talking about. You would never get that out of Andre Dow. I ain't never respecting that bitch no more. Bitch, you sat there and played with me. You disrespected my motherfucking family. You disrespected, first of all, you disrespected God because the bitch made an oath. When you take an oath, the oath is for God. That's a oath to Allah. You broke that. You violated that. Now you come with these motherfuckers come with some judicial garbage, trying to respond to the fact that you wrong. Nobody want to capitulate to what's right. Everybody want to try to get around that. Everybody on board. And you look horrible. The only reason why you getting away with this shit as long as you have, because it's certain niggas that's in power that ain't tweeted about it, ain't said nothing about it, don't give a fuck about it. And this is why they do us like they do us. Because the nigga sit right there and don't want to go and getting in that. You is as bad as these niggas when a ride jump off certain niggas go in their motherfucking cell. Nah, nigga, this one of them situations where everybody fight. I'm not looking forward to it, but nigga, I'm not running away from it. Now the facts is the facts. You done got caught up. You got a motherfucker that sent a whole nother fucking state in the county jail. Not only is he sitting in the county jail, we know, because all of these other dates, that's why it's good that you listening to this video, because he gave other dates, summer '06. What did they do? They went into their corruption research department, manufactured another story. He got the freestyle, he got stuck with the December the 5th day. Okay, we can work around that. And guess what we gonna do? The way we gonna cover our ass, we gonna seal this shit. Now this nigga can't look at it. Because as they go on, we seeing he ain't as stupid as we thought he was. This nigga's not a dummy. Nah, bitch, I'm smart. And and nigga, and it's a Spark, and Latif Gray, boy, he on your motherfucking head. Can't nobody get that nigga off you but God. And Allah is the one that released it. Because for those that don't know, Latif is an attribute of Allah. Know who you fucking with and what you fucking with. You done got a nigga started. And ain't no cutting him off. He done jumped in this fight for me. Or should I say he jumped in the fight with me, because I've been fighting you bitches by myself. I've been filing these motions and you just been ignoring it. I've been at them. For a long time, I was fighting by my motherfucking self. Putting in motion to go to court. Man, these motherfuckers put in the writ of habeas. I filed the first writ of habeas. A writ of habeas is a Latin word for produce the body. Bring me here because I have charges on you bitches that you obtained an illegal conviction. I've been yelling that they did the perjury. I just didn't know that I had them dates until that scholar got involved. That nigga Latif Gray. Figured that shit out. When the nigga got involved, I'm talking about he figured that shit out so fast. And now then they want to bring him and then try to, make him feel like he done something wrong, or, try to embarrass him in front of the public as if he done gave me some illegal documents. I don't give a fuck if they are illegal. So what? I don't give a fuck if the nigga hijacked the Brinks truck, went in there and stole that motherfucker out of one of the safety deposit boxes and gave it to me. So motherfucker what? Bitch, I got it. You caught. That nigga's in jail. That nigga is sitting in a motherfucking jail cell from November the 28th to December the 7th. How many times do we got to paint this picture to let you know that he was not nowhere present in the world December the 5th, 2005? You don't get to say you made a mistake. Not with my motherfucking liberty. You don't get to say that and think you're going to get away with it. You can say what you want to say. In the cold part, I'm ready to fight beyond this shit. I'm ready. I already know how dirty these motherfuckers are. But see, this is the thing about it. The more you let this happen, at one point, like how Latif heard it, it's going to be somebody else with those ears that's going to hear it, and this shit going to blow into the mainstream. And see, Allah didn't want none of them niggas to help me anyway. All the motherfuckers that I know that didn't give me a crying down blue nigga or a screaming quarter, nigga, thank you. I appreciate it. Because you don't even know the position that I'm really in life. And I'm thankful for it. It ain't no besmirching Andre Dow. You got me fucked up. Yeah, this shit is a temporary setback for a legendary motherfucking comeback. This is not gonna be long at all. Like the monkey told the lion before he cut his tail. Bitch, it won't be long now.